In today's video, we are going to dive into the stories that touched our hearts with their emotional journeys, as we remember the unforgettable, the most iconic patients of Grey's Anatomy. So, if you are a fan of the series or are just curious about the cases that define the plot, get ready, because this is going to be touching. Please like today's video, which was really difficult to produce, and subscribe to the channel to receive new Grey's Anatomy videos. Unforgettable, the most iconic patients of Grey's Anatomy. Katie Bryce, pilot episode, season 1. The central case of the episode is Katie Bryce, a young beauty pageant contestant who is admitted to the hospital after suffering a series of severe seizures and presenting with an unusual head injury. The situation is alarming and requires a quick and effective response from the medical team. Meredith, under the supervision of Derek Shepherd, is involved in Katie's evaluation and treatment. The doctors conduct a series of tests to discover the cause of the symptoms. After a detailed investigation, Derek discovers that Katie has a cerebral aneurysm. This condition is critical, as the aneurysm, a dilated blood vessel in the brain, represents a significant risk of rupture and hemorrhage. To save Katie's life, Derek decides that the only solution is to perform delicate surgery to remove the aneurysm. Meredith, despite being on her first day, accompanies and assists in the surgery, providing her with valuable experience and a glimpse of what it's like to work in high-pressure situations. The surgery is successful, and Derek safely removes the aneurysm. Katie begins to recover, bringing relief to her family and the medical team. This case not only marks the beginning of Meredith Grey's career at the hospital, but also establishes her professional connection with Derek Shepherd.
It's a subarachnoid hemorrhage. She's bleeding into her brain.
Bonnie Krasnoff and Tom Maynard, Episode 6, Season 2. Bonnie Krasnoff and Tom Maynard are victims of a serious train accident that leaves them pinned together by a metal rod. When Bonnie and Tom arrive at Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital, the doctors quickly realize the severity of the situation. The metal rod goes through both their bodies, creating a significant surgical challenge. The medical team, including Derek Shepherd, Miranda Bailey, Christina Yang, Izzy Stevens, and others, gathers to determine the best approach to separate the patients and save their lives. After careful evaluation, the doctors conclude that removing the rod may result in the death of one of the patients due to severe internal injuries. After intense and emotional discussions, the team decides that Tom has a better chance of surviving the surgery. This decision, however, means that Bonnie, whose injuries are more severe, will not survive the separation. This moment creates a profound ethical dilemma for the doctors, who must confront the harsh reality that they cannot save everyone. Bonnie, aware of her situation, shows remarkable courage and accepts her fate with touching understanding. During the surgery, as predicted, Bonnie does not survive the separation, while Tom, despite severe injuries, manages to survive. Pamela Calva, Episode 18, Season 2. Pamela Calva is a woman suffering from frequent and uncontrollable spontaneous orgasms. This condition greatly impacts Pamela's life, causing embarrassment and interfering with her normal daily activities. Pamela, portrayed by Monique Edwards, arrives at Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital seeking help for her debilitating condition. She reports to the doctors that she experiences spontaneous orgasms in any situation without any apparent sexual stimulus, leaving her in a constant state of embarrassment and anguish. The doctors, including Meredith Grey and Miranda Bailey, begin investigating the cause of Pamela's symptoms. After several tests, they discover that Pamela has a tumor in her pudendal artery. This artery is responsible for supplying blood to the clitoris, and the presence of the tumor causes constant pressure, resulting in continuous stimulation and uncontrollable orgasms. This unusual medical case is based on a real case, as revealed by showrunner Krista Vernoff. The real story involved a woman diagnosed with a tumor in her pudendal artery, leading to symptoms similar to Pamela's. During the episode, the doctors discuss treatment options for Pamela. Surgery to remove the tumor is considered the best solution to alleviate the symptoms and improve her quality of life. The complexity and delicacy of the case provide an opportunity for the doctors at Grey Sloan Memorial to demonstrate their surgical skills and empathetic understanding of rare and often misunderstood medical conditions. Denny Duquette, Episode 27, Season 2. Denny Duquette is introduced as a patient with severe heart problems. His story is especially memorable because of the relationship he develops with Izzy Stevens, one of the hospital interns. Denny is initially admitted to Seattle Grace Hospital with a critical heart condition that requires a heart transplant. He is charismatic and has a captivating personality, quickly gaining the sympathy of the medical team, especially Izzy Stevens, portrayed by Katherine Heigl. During the treatment, Denny and Izzy develop a deep and complex bond. Izzy finds herself attracted to Denny, and her feelings are reciprocated. Their relationship evolves into a sincere and intense romance, which becomes one of the main emotional focuses of the plot. Unfortunately, Izzy's happiness is cut short when Denny suffers complications and eventually passes away. His death is devastating for Izzy, who faces deep and painful grief. The loss of Denny leaves Izzy desolate and profoundly affects her life and career. Megan Clover, Episode 3, Season 3. Megan, portrayed by Abigail Breslin, is a young girl suffering from a rare disorder called congenital analgesia, which prevents her from feeling physical pain. Megan is brought to the hospital by her mother after seriously injuring herself in a series of accidents, unaware of the severity of her injuries due to her condition. Initially, the doctors, including Alex Karev, are intrigued and somewhat skeptical about Megan's condition, but soon realize the seriousness of the problem. She presents with multiple fractures and untreated wounds because she never felt pain and, therefore, did not report these issues to anyone. Megan's condition presents a significant challenge for the doctors at Gray Sloan Memorial Hospital. The inability to feel pain may seem advantageous at first glance, but it is extremely dangerous because pain is the body's alert signal for injuries and illnesses. Without this warning, Megan risks serious damage without realizing it. Throughout the episode, the doctors discuss the impact of congenital analgesia and how it affects Megan's life and her mother, who is constantly worried about her daughter's safety. Megan demonstrates impressive resilience, astonishing Alex Karev, and intriguing all the doctors at the hospital with her ability to endure severe injuries without any signs of pain. Frankie and Ivy, Episode 6, Season 7. The case involves two sisters, Frankie and Ivy, who urgently need a heart transplant. Both Frankie and Ivy are in critical condition and are waiting for a heart transplant. The situation becomes even more complicated when a compatible heart becomes available. Since both are in equally grave conditions, it creates a significant ethical dilemma for the medical team, as only one of them can receive the organ. Christina Yang, one of the hospital's cardiac surgeons, is tasked with the difficult decision of choosing which sister will receive the transplant. She carefully evaluates Frankie and Ivy's cases, considering the severity of their conditions, the likelihood of a successful transplant, and their expected lifespans post-surgery. It is an emotionally draining decision, as any choice will result in significant suffering for one of the sisters and their family. After thorough analysis, Christina decides that Ivy, the younger sister, has a better chance of successful recovery with the transplant. Therefore, Ivy is selected to receive the available heart. The decision is profoundly impactful for Frankie and her family, who face immense grief due to the choice. Ivy's surgery is successfully performed, and she begins to recover well after the transplant.
Medically speaking, Frankie's condition is declining rapidly. Technically, Ivy is more stable, which would give
Marina,
the heart a better
Episode
chance
14,
of survival.
Season 3. Marina, diagnosed with cancer, arrives at the hospital in critical condition for an important surgery, but what unfolds next is a dramatic and surprising sequence of medical events. During the preparation for surgery, the doctors begin to inexplicably faint in the operating room. George O'Malley, one of the residents, is the first to feel the effects, but his initial complaints are ignored by his colleagues, who do not believe in the severity of his condition. The situation quickly worsens when other doctors, including Derek Shepard and Preston Burke, also faint during the procedure. The cause of this chaos is discovered. The chemotherapy drugs Marina was taking reacted with an herbal supplement she was using, creating a potent neurotoxin. This toxin is released into the air during the surgery, affecting everyone in the room. To continue the treatment and save Marina's life, the medical team needs to take extraordinary measures. The doctors decide to use sealed suits to protect themselves from the toxin while operating on Marina. However, the complexity of the situation increases when Derek and Burke, even with the protective suits, faint due to lack of oxygen. With the lead surgeons incapacitated, residents Christina Yang, Meredith Gray, and Izzy Stevens take over the operation, demonstrating their skills and resilience in a high-pressure situation.
Mike! Mike! Mike!
Adele Webber, Season 9, Episode 10. Adele Webber, portrayed by Loretta Devine, is one of the most memorable and emotional characters in Grey's Anatomy. She is introduced as the wife of Richard Webber, one of the chief surgeons at Seattle Grace Hospital, and plays a significant role in the series' plot. Adele is initially presented as a strong and loving woman who maintains a complex relationship with Richard. Despite the challenges in their relationship, especially due to Richard's infidelity, Adele continues to be a central figure in his life. The drama surrounding Adele reaches a critical point when she is diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. This condition marks a painful turning point in the plot, as the disease causes a significant decline in Adele's health and cognitive abilities. The way the disease affects Adele and Richard is profoundly moving and portrays the difficulty of dealing with such a debilitating condition. During her battle with Alzheimer's, Adele shares several emotional and sad scenes with Richard, showcasing the depth of their relationship and the devastating impact of the disease on both of them. These moments are approached with sensitivity, reflecting the harsh and emotional reality of the challenges faced by those dealing with degenerative diseases. The tragic climax for Adele occurs in the episode The Lion Sleeps Tonight, Season 9, Episode 24. On Miranda Bailey's wedding day, Adele suffers a fatal heart attack. Her death on the same day as Bailey's wedding is a particularly devastating moment, intensified by Richard's sadness and the profound loss felt by everyone around him.
You're here. No. When?
Beatrice, Episode 18, Season 11. Beatrice, a mother with terminal cancer, tries to hide the severity of her illness from her teenage daughter, Ivy. Beatrice was admitted to Gray Sloan Memorial Hospital after a car accident. During her treatment, the doctors discovered that she had advanced stage cancer and that the prognosis was grim. Beatrice had hidden her condition from Ivy to protect her from the pain and fear of losing her mother. The situation becomes emotionally charged when Beatrice realizes she can no longer hide the truth. The doctors at the hospital, including Meredith Grey and Alex Karev, witness the moment Beatrice reveals her terminal condition to Ivy. The scene is deeply moving as Beatrice, with tears in her eyes, explains her illness and the inevitability of her imminent death. Ivy, initially in shock, is consoled by the doctors and tries to cope with the devastating revelation. The doctors, who frequently face difficult cases, are visibly moved by the strength and vulnerability shown by Beatrice and Ivy. These were the unforgettable, the most iconic patients of Grey's Anatomy. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Leave your like and share it with that friend who loves Grey's Anatomy as much as we do. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and see you in the next video.